Hello, my crafty friends. It's Sharon Luska here from My Crafty Greetings, and I'm doing a craft roulette process video today. So it's a game show that gives you parameters, and our card is Appreciation with Candlelight Colors, an element of Leave It To, and Retiform. So I have these very cool background pieces here that I have made. These are on actually Nina cardstock, if you can believe, with alcohol ink. And I'm going to be having a bunch of videos coming up that's going to show this very clearly how to make these because they are super cool. So I was showing Sabrina, the owner of Scrappy Tales, the card that I made for Craft Roulette. Sabrina's been on Craft Roulette already. Anyways, I was so excited. She got excited too, and she said that you guys could have 10% off any of the Blooms die sets, or you could have 10 extra percent off the already discounted set of 3. It's already 5% off, but she's gonna add an extra 10% off. So I thought that that was pretty darn cool. But I wanted to show you these 3 quickly. This is the retro birthday blooms. This isn't the one that we use today, but it is so versatile and it gives you 3 sizes of flowers that are just amazing. I love this set. It's probably the most versatile of the sets. This is a 5x7 card, and these blue flowers here are all from those dies. Completely different looking. And this one here also, this is the same die. Now this Stitch Daisy Blooms die, love it. Besides that gorgeous thanks and the leaves and the butterfly, these flowers are so beautiful. And when you layer them up, even better, and there's even more that you can do with them. The centers though, if you stack those centers up, that's how I got those yellow flowers. Now, this is the set we're going to use today. It's the I Love You Mom Bloom set, and it has Love You and Mom. And I cut it out in metal just to show you. There's another way of making them versatile. So now you can kind of understand why one of the parameters I'm using is Leave It to Scrappy Tales dies, because they are amazing. Now, this retiform thing, don't look it up as a medical thing. It'll scare you. But retiform is just lines that kind of connect with each other. And I used some squeezed lemonade in this embossing folder. They have a similar one available from Altenew. I will try and link it below. I'll link everything below. Just do that drop down box. It has the whole deal in it. So this flower here, we are popping that center portion up. And then what we're going to do is take the little outside piece here and we're going to fold it forward. So once you do this, it's going to give it kind of like a little M shape here. There's lots of different ways you can get that little M there. See that? So if you don't want to pinch the middle with a pokey tool like I did, you can also use your little ball styluses or flower sculptors. I just wanted to show you the plane where I'm doing that though. It's just right down the middle of that petal. And once you've got the middle of the petal pushed forward, that's when you're going to flip this up and you're going to bend those other little fins there forward. And that's what's going to make that kind of rumpled M. And I think Cosmos is a flower that looks like this. Well, there's lots of flowers in the garden that Mother Nature sculpts like this. But when you put those two together, they look gorgeous. Now, we are going to do a technique, though, that makes this look transparent. And because we have a bit of a greeny colored background, we are just going to take our watercolor, what are these, shimmer watercolors or pearlescent watercolors. I'm mixing them together to make this yellowy green, and we're just daubing it on the little points on the end here. And then you're just gonna pull them right back off. I know this seems so funny, but as soon as you've got them on, turn it around and pull them right back off. So you're gonna hit the divot, the peak, and the divot, the peak, and the divot, and then pull all that color right back off with your thumb. And yeah, it's a little messy for your hands, but you'll get over it because you'll have a gorgeous card to look at by the time you're done. So I have my schwanky little glue tool here, and I'm gonna put a good wad of glue in the middle. And I'm gonna put these so that they're overlapping each other, and then we're gonna poke our thumbs in to give them a little bit of cupping. And then go to those back flower petals, and I want you to pull them back. Be a little kind of firm with them to say you're going this way. And then if you have a little poker, take those front petals and stick it in that center peak and pull them forward. So you can see it's almost going to the center here and pulling forward. Now you can just take your finger and pull them forward if you're more comfortable doing that. I know you might worry about poking through the center. You'll be fine. And we got a piece that covers it up right here. See how cute that is? Now that is not the conventional way of using this die, but I will do another video that shows all 3 of those bloom sets and all the crazy ways you can get amazing flowers just from those 3 die sets. Like, this should be a staple in your craft room. And flowers are awesome for everything. So I've got my little desktop Tim Holtz die cutting little guy here. You can see I shove it in most of the way and then roll and pull the rest of the way. It saves you a lot of hand cranking. And then I'm going to poke these out of the die so they look like kind of little spidery looking things. Twist them around so that they don't match up, and they'll make this hairy looking centerpiece. And throw a little glue in there to glue them together. That's all you need to do. A little glue in the center. Hold that with some pressure down so those little filaments can stick up. And there you've got your flower. So that little tiny bit of green halo around there, that's what's going to make these look as though they're transparent when they're really not. Because this is just Neenah Solar white paper. And you can use any white paper that you have for die cutting these. You know, this is great for using up white scraps because you can get so many out of it. But we did a trio, one of each of the sizes. I've got to make a few more leaves, but I wanted them to match a bit better. So I used my pre-inked, like I re-inked right into the brushes, and I reactivate it with my Distress ink refresher, and that way I can ink on top of the paper without having to dip into my ink pad all the time. I'll show you a bit more about that later. So I'm going to throw these through my tabletop die cutter from Sizzix. I love this little guy. It works so perfectly. And I'm going to show you some other really cool techniques. So I want to put some detailing on this. And I have this light green Tombow marker. Did you know you can dip your Tombow markers in your dye inks and pick a little bit up? And that will give you like a varied color on anything that you're applying it to. So that's how it gives me a little bit of a darker green at the start, and then when I flick it forward, it goes into a lighter yellowy green, which matches our background perfectly. Now I can do this to the stems too. Don't you like that? It just makes it so different. And then you just wipe it off. Now you can also do this when you're coloring. Watch that. See how it goes dark green to light green? Funky. Is that not a neat way to use your pens? Because we all have Tombows, and I have like duplicates now. So this is just like a purple gray, and I'm dipping this in broken china. So I'm gonna give it a squiggle. See how it goes from blue to purple gray? So there's the purple gray and the blue, and there I'm squiggling it off. It's fine again. So, oh, and if your lids fall off, just wrap some tape from the outside to the inside. That'll keep your lids on better. See, they stay on now. Okay, that was a lot. I tend to do everything overboard. So I wanted to just scrub on a little bit more rustic wilderness. Now you can see I sprayed that. That allows me to use up the rest of the ink in my brush. And my giant brushes, I actually squeezed re-inker directly into them. That's in another video, but I will show you that later on. So here's my giant brush. No need to ink it. I just give it a spritz, and there's the green. And that's just ink directly in there, and then Distressed Refresh Sprayer. Hopefully that wasn't too fast for you. Okay, so here I just put my thumbnail in the middle of the leaf and then use my other finger to fold it forward. And I've done that for all of the leaves. Now, an easy way to arrange these is so that you have leaves trailing down one side. And I've got a leaf here that's got a tip that got missed. We're gonna hide that in amongst the other leaves. So then I'm gonna fan that out towards my sentiment that's gonna be at the top and balance it with a leaf at the bottom. And then I'm going to add another leaf to the side here. So it makes for a very, very nice spray. So I'm doing an appreciation card, and this is thanks for Mary. We're going to send Mary this card because she's awesome. I had gone through a bad patch of making cards, and Craft Roulette really helped motivate me to get back on track. Now I've done all kinds of Tombow Mono Multi on the back of this. We're going to let it dry, and that will make it so that it's like I've actually put sticky tape on the back of everything, extra sticky tape. You can see how sticky as I try and align these two and then get them unstuck from my fingers. But this is going to allow me to lay everything down. Now I'm just putting the thanks sentiment in place so that I can make sure that I give it some consideration as I'm laying everything else out. And I'm sliding all my little bits under here and just giving them a light little tap to tack them in place. Once I'm done, I'll push them down firmer, but see how it allows me to arrange things? Now we're gonna put a bunch of, this is actually art glitter glue in this bottle. So we're gonna put a bunch of art glitter glue on the backs of all of these flowers and they'll grab on there no problem. And then I'm gonna pull these two apart so I can separate them and have them kind of focus on a different area. Now that little tab I'm going to push back, nobody will see it, and then I squish these two leaves together so that they look like they're fast partners. Now you can see I also cut some of the edges off of my card here, so it's a little bit shorter, and then I added a little band of gold. I also added a layer of kind of bright blue to the back of my thanks, and I'm just looking at things that I can add in to give this a little bit more interest as a floral arrangement. I always keep extras around. Those are actually lids to my yogurt. I like Chobani yogurt, and I get it in big tubs when we're in the US, so I save all of those clear lids to hold my shenanigans. Now, these are floral centers that came from one of the die sets. I've decided against that, and I've gone for some other Scrappy Tails flowers here that I keep cut from all of my little scraps, and I decided to go with these blue ones. I thought it went very, very nicely with the background, and I think they also, don't you think they look like forget-me-not flowers? I could have put a butterfly too. I didn't end up doing that. So I wanted to get this thanks on here, and I'm going to take my pokey tool and just set it behind. You can use a piece of acetate to do this too, and that allows me to eyeball where I'm going to stick this sentiment, and I'm going to want to do by the law of thirds and try and get it in the upper third of where everything is, and then I'm going to shoot a couple little dots of glue behind my flowers and add some pops of color, which is actually not colored, it's just white. A little bit of shimmer from my what is this, Spectrum Noir Shimmer Pen. Love this thing. And I think we're away to the races. I hope Mary loves this card. I think she's probably going to play it on the Who Done It show. I'm going to put all the links below, so if you want to watch Craft Roulette, it's amazing. Play along. You could win prizes. And definitely check out Scrappy Tails Flowers. This release was amazing, and I can't believe Sabrina was so kind to give us that discount. Sorry if I went on today. Hopefully you hit subscribe and leave me a comment. Definitely give me a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, and we'll see you guys in the next video, which will be a floral video. Thanks so much. Have an awesome day. Hope you get time to get crafty. Bye.